How I got my driver's license in Turkey as a foreigner, part 1. Hi guys, welcome back to my video. For a very long time I have been wanting to have a driver's license because it's one of the most important documents in a human being's life, especially if you're more than 25 years. You need to be able to drive, but I have been reluctant, first of all because of the finances, and second of all because of where I live. The language is totally different. I tried to find English driving schools and I couldn't get any, and then I was stopped. Now fast forward to February 2024, I had to travel to Africa, to Cameroon. So I went back to Cameroon, and then it was not easy. Like, I stressed, like I suffered. Like, even when I would call a taxi, before the taxi would want to come, like sometimes they will call and they'll cancel, and it was so stressful. And then I finally decided that there's no longer any time. I have got to do this. When I came back, upon all the stress and the fact that I was drained financially, I said to myself, no, enough is enough. If I knew how to drive, I would have been able to rent a car back home and life would have been a little bit easy, but it wasn't. So I decided to do it no matter what it takes. I was drained financially, but I said I'm going to empty myself. I went, like, we already have a driving school just 5 minutes away from me, not to 5 minutes, like 3 minutes away from me. I was just lazy. That's just it. So I had this driving school's number for the longest of time, but I didn't put it into use just because of the reasons I told you guys earlier. Now, when I came back, I just texted him in I think 1st of March. Yeah, 1st of March I texted, and then he replied. I was like, hi sir, my name is this, I live in this, and I also want to learn driving, but I have a problem. I speak strictly English. I only understand Turkish a little bit. By that time I couldn't really speak Turkish like I speak now. I was a little bit dumb Turkish. So he told me that they do offer English courses, and I was so excited. I said, wow, so let's do it, let's go into it. He told me the procedures, he told me what I needed to have to be able to register for the driving course. So here are the documents required for registration. Number 1, you need a copy of your ID card. You must be legal in order to be able to have a driver's license in Turkey. That's not even negotiable. That's number 1. Number 2, you need a copy of your diploma or degree or whatever certificate you have, but you need a certificate to show that you graduated from a university or a private school. And one other thing that really amazed me about this particular course is the fact that I was not obliged to go and legalize, translate, and all of that, because that's one thing that gets a lot of people stuck in Turkey. Like, anything you want to do, they'll ask you to first of all go and translate. Since our documents are in English or French, they need it in Turkish, and after translating, you need to legalize. That's very expensive. I was so happy I was not obliged to do that. Now, number 3, we have biometric photo. You need a biometric photo. That's half card, just one. And number 4, you need a health report. And this was also for my advantage because here in Turkey we have, like, all quarters, right? They have their family doctors where if you have something like emergency, you have to rush there. If you want to do checkup for blood or any other thing, you can rush there, except it is really severe. That's why you need to go to a government hospital which is far away, and then you need work permit and all of that. But if you have something like headache or you need to see a doctor urgently, we have our family doctors around. You go and meet them for consultation. So I went there, they did my report. I did not pay any dime for this particular health report. And then we also have criminal record. For the criminal record, it's also very easy to have because everyone who lives in Turkey, we have a government portal where we have all our informations in there. Anything you need to know about me, once you get into that government portal, you can get every details about me in that portal. So it was easy. I just went there, I downloaded it, and then I forwarded it to them. And they said for pre-registration, ID card is sufficient. That's to say you don't need your passport. So after that, I combined all my documents and sent to them. That was the first step. It was done and dusted. Now it was time for me to pay. They had to take my documents first to see if I'm qualified to be able to have a driver's license in Turkey. So I sent the document to them in that same April. After like 2 days, they got back to me that it's okay, I can have a driver's license, I can move forward. Now it got to the stage where I had to pay. Now there was a misunderstanding, same because of language. At that time, like I told you guys, I could not speak Turkish fluently, so I was doing Google translation. And then my translation, of course, is never perfect. When you translate from Google, it's never perfect. So there was a misunderstanding. What I want you guys to know is the fact that if you have to pay in installments, you're going to pay more, but if you pay at once, you're going to pay less. But there was a misconception. That thing got us probably, like I was battling with them, but at the end of the day, I still paid. Now, and after paying that amount, now they had to register me. So they have told me they have English speaking courses, right, for driving, and I was quite excited about that. So I sat down. Initially, I had no idea of what was happening. Like, I didn't see anybody who has done this who could tell me that you have to do this, you have to do this. It was so stressful for me. So then I sat down. I was expecting them to send me a message that you have a class this day, that we're going to sit in class, and maybe they'll tutor us on the things which we expected in the exam, because normally first of all we have theory. If you pass the theory, and then you're going for practical. So I had to prepare for my theory exam in that same April, and then I sat one day. They just sent me a link. First of all, I received a message. This shows that for those who speak Turkish, they have classes where they go to their driving school and then they have classes. But for me who speaks English, that class doesn't include me, because it can't have a special teacher just for me. You understand? So that's where my problem started. I'm like, okay, they sent me that message. It was by mistakenly, they forgot that I speak English, and then I screenshotted the message and sent it to them on WhatsApp. I'm like, what does it mean? They're like, no, we are sorry, they didn't mean to send that to me. I'm like, okay. Now they sent me a link. In that link, I had to go and read and prepare for my exam. I went to the link, I was reading, and everything was in Turkish. I started struggling on how to translate it. He taught me how I could translate it to English, and that was direct translation. You know how complicated direct translation is. There are some things which are supposed to be negative, but they turn out to be positive when you translate them on Google. That's how stressful it was. I went, I studied, and in that same April, I think like 22nd of April, I had like 18 or something of April, I had my first exam theory, and I had to go and write. I came to them. I'm like, wow, so am I only going to prepare online and go and write this exam? It's a little bit difficult for me. Am I not going to have a face-to-face class with any tutor? They said, no, just that one is enough for me to prepare. I'm like, okay, let me just do it. I do not have any interest. I've paid already. Now, I started studying, and then on the day of the exam, I went and wrote, and then I failed. Okay, for the driving lessons, you have 4 chances, right? If you fail the first chance, you're going to write second time. After the second time, the third, and then the fourth. If you fail the 4th time, and then you need to pay again a complete fee. Like complete fee. Each time you're going to write, you have an amount you pay for the exam, right? But if you fail 4 times, you're going to pay the complete amount to start again. Gosh, I went that first time, I failed. Hey, at least it was painful, but all I do, I still managed it. I consoled myself that I'm English, but I still have to do this. I came back home. Second time again, I prepared, I paid for the exam, and then I wrote again, and I still failed. That's the theory. Guys, I was noticed in that hall like I was the only black. I mean, in all the times I went to write, I did not see a single black person who was coming to write. Everyone was Turkish. Remember, I had 4 chances for this exam. I wasted 2 already. It's left just 2. Now, if you really want to know if I did pass the 3rd time, please kindly follow my page or follow my account for the next update. I'm gonna be dropping part 2 of this story soon. If you follow me, of course, you'll be notified that I have dropped it. But if you don't follow me, how will you know? It's hard. You might see it on your For You page, but following me is secure. It's sure that you're going to have the notification that I have dropped the video. Now, one thing I want you to note is the fact that These exams are also directly translated from Turkish to English. Remember I told you the notes I read were translated directly. I had problems with that, but I also came to the hall and discovered that the exams were also directly translated. I discovered a lot of mistakes in there, but it's only someone who speaks English that can identify those mistakes. But after identifying what next, there's nothing I could do. Now I only had to stay there and keep trying. So this is the second time I failed. Watch out for part 3 if I did pass or not. Now, I love you so much. Stay blessed and have a lovely day. Bye bye.